In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 college football games happening on September 2nd, 2023, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games. So 2 picks for each game, 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 college football games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Utah State versus Iowa. The Hawkeyes host Utah State in the first game of the season on Saturday, September 2nd. Iowa will start the new season with a new quarterback as excitement returns for a great program that has always had an incredible defense. The Aggies return their starting quarterback from last season and a few key skill position players. Utah State was very average last year in all statistical categories, but they hope to improve and make a move toward the Western Athletic Conference Championship. The Hawkeyes had a mediocre season last year, posting a record of 8-5. However, they enter the new season ranked number 25 in the country. The main issue with the Hawkeyes last season, and frankly for several seasons, is that they just do not score enough. The Hawkeyes averaged 19 points per game last season, which ranked 117th in the country. Conversely, Iowa's defense has been stellar over the years, but never more so than last year, when they allowed 14 points per game and were tied for 3rd in that category. It is also worth noting that transfer quarterback Cade McNamara is questionable for this game. If he were to be ruled out, it would certainly hurt the Hawkeyes' offense. Utah State had a below-average season, posting a record of 6-7. The Aggies had a little bit more success in terms of their offense, scoring an average of 23.5 points per game, which ranked 87th in the country. In terms of defense, the Aggies allowed an average of 31 points per game, which ranked 99th. Utah State isn't going to be as good as it's been in past years, as there's a lot of production to replace and a new coaching staff outside of the head coach. This is one of the more talented Iowa teams we've seen in recent memory, and the offense has potential for once. Massive line for a season opener when we tend to see some sluggish play, but Iowa could run away with things in the second half once it starts to get comfortable. I like the Hawkeyes to roll, so the Iowa Hawkeyes to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Last year, the under was 9-4 for the Hawkeyes. Iowa's defense is bound to be great again. The total comes down to Iowa's offense and their efficiency, which I don't believe yet. I think the Iowa offense is going to struggle to score points, forcing a low-scoring affair. Last year, when the total was 49 points or less, the under was 3-0 for the Aggies. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Ball State versus Kentucky. A pair of college football programs open up their 2023 slates when the Mid-American Conference takes on the big, bad Southeastern Conference in a non-conference tilt from the Bluegrass State. The Ball State Cardinals are on the road as they make the trek to take on the Kentucky Wildcats Saturday afternoon. Ball State finished the 2022 season 5-7 and missed out on a bowl game as they posted a losing campaign for the 8th time in the last 9 years. Kentucky went 7-6 in 2022, though they were blanked 21-0 by Iowa in the Music City Bowl, ending their season with a thud. These programs have met just once as Football Bowl subdivision opponents, with Kentucky picking up a 28-20 win at home on September 8, 2001. Ball State is 2-9 against the spread in their last, the 11th of September games, while the under is 5-0 in their last 5 games. Kentucky is 20-7 against the spread in their last 27 home games and 10-3 against the spread in their last 13 games against the Mid-American Conference, while the under is 17-6 in their last 23 games overall. In a matchup that pits the Ball State Cardinals against the Kentucky Wildcats, the stage is set for an electrifying showdown at Kroger Field. While the Cardinals are on a mission to redeem themselves after a subpar season, the Wildcats are looking to build on their moderate success from last year. The Cardinals' offense, led by Texas State transfer Lane Hatcher, is poised to make waves in the Mid-American Conference. However, they'll be up against a Kentucky defense that is expected to remain strong under the guidance of head coach Mark Stoops and defensive coordinator Brad White. With emerging talents like defensive tackle Deone Walker and inside linebackers Trevin Wallace and Derrick Jackson, the Wildcats' defense defense is not to be taken lightly. The defense was the force for Kentucky and is expected to be once again. Last season, the Wildcats held opponents to an average of 19 points and 320.3 yards per game, which was 18th overall. On the flip side, Kentucky's offense is set for a resurgence thanks to the return of offensive coordinator Liam Cohen and the acquisition of former NC State quarterback Devin Leary. Last season, the Wildcats scored an average of only 20.4 points per game while gaining an average of 324.7 yards per game. I'm not loving this price, but I just think this is a game where it's the epitome of what you expect when you see the Southeastern Conference against the Mid-American Conference, and I just think that while both teams made upgrades in the offseason, Kentucky's additions were just better, like Devin Leary over Lane Hatcher, and I think we're in the ballpark of 38-10 or something along those lines. Given the home field advantage, the strength of Kentucky's defense, and their balanced offensive approach, the Kentucky Wildcats to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Ball State finished last season with the under posting a 9-3 mark in their 12 games. The Cardinals ended the year with 7 straight unders on the books. In addition, Ball State saw the under post a 5-1 mark in their 6 games on the road last season. The Cardinals did go over in their season opener at Tennessee, but most of that was done by the Volunteers, who piled up points en route to a 59-10 win. They didn't come within 4.5 points of the total in any of their other road games. Kentucky was an under machine last year, staying under the mark in 12 of their 13 games, including the bowl loss to Iowa. The lone over that the Wildcats had came in a 31-23 home win over Northern Illinois back in Week 4 to just edge over the total of 53. Both teams are coming into this game with potent offenses. Ball State's Lane Hatcher and Marcus Cooper are expected to put up big numbers, while Kentucky's Devin Leary and his talented receiving core are also likely to shine. With both defenses showing vulnerabilities, Ball State allowed the 3rd most yards per game in the Mid-American Conference last year, and Kentucky has to replace 5 starters. The stage is set for a high-scoring affair. Considering the offensive firepower on both sides and the defensive question marks, it's a confident pick that the total will go over 48.5 points. Expect an action-packed game that will keep fans on the edge of their seats from start to finish. This one will be yet another rock fight. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. East Carolina versus Michigan. The season starts early on Saturday for two teams when the East Carolina Pirates travel to take on the Michigan Wolverines. East Carolina remains a member of the American Athletic Conference. They finished last season with an 8-5 record, including a win over Coastal Carolina in the Birmingham Bowl. Michigan went 13-1 last year, winning the Big Ten championship before losing to TCU in the college football playoff semifinal. Michigan played 3 non-conference games last season. They scored over 50 in all 3. They defeated UConn 59-0, and the closest of the 3 was a 51-7 win against Colorado State, which would have covered this spread. This Michigan team may be even better than last season, and I imagine Harbaugh is telling his coaching staff to make a statement in this game. East Carolina lost their star quarterback and running back from last season. They will struggle to move the ball against this elite Michigan defense. McCarthy should have a field day. He is athletic but has also evolved as a passer with a 22-5 touchdown to interception ratio last season. Blake Corum may take another run at the Heisman and could get off to a great start against this East Carolina defense. Michigan is going to make a statement early in the season. Michigan has won 15 straight games in the Big House, and there are only a few non-Power 5 schools that could potentially bring that to an end. East Carolina isn't one of them, especially as they tinker with new parts on both sides of the ball. Well, in 3 games against non-Big Ten foes last year, Michigan scored at least 51 points each time. Now, on paper, East Carolina is better than all of those teams, but that will be the reason that this game finishes over the total easily. If the Pirates' offense can put up at least 10 points, a number they hit in all but 2 games last season, they're doing as well as any of those 3 out-of-conference opponents did in Ann Arbor last year. As for the home team, their offensive line shouldn't struggle with East Carolina's at all. The moment Michigan's running game neutralizes East Carolina's defensive strength, the Wolverines will be able to decimate East Carolina's passing defense effortlessly. Only 3 teams held the Wolverines under 30 last year, and Big Ten defenses tend to be some of the best nationally. Michigan scored 50 or more in their first 3 games last season. The lowest total was 58. Michigan averaged 40 points throughout the entire season. If they can average 40 with a Big Ten schedule, they can put up 50 on East Carolina. The Wolverines just have to go above their average or get a little scoring help from the Pirates to send this one over. Even without Harbaugh, the Big House will be rocking and points will not be hard to find. Given the spread and expectations for this Michigan team, this is a relatively low total. Michigan scores at least 42, East Carolina squeaks into double digits, and this game finishes over 51.5 points. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.